Today, we're going to give you everything you need to know at the start of the game to really get some value from your spaceport crew. Whether you're trying to figure out which tier of crew member you should work on, the orange, the blue, or even green, or perhaps you're deciding which one you should focus on. Is it flagship damage? Is it things that help your spaceport build up stronger? Well, we'll answer all those questions and more. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, a sponsored content creator for Infinite Galaxy. And in this video, we're giving you a whole bunch of advice that I really wish I had day one when I started in Infinite Galaxy. If you like Infinite Galaxy guides that help you get value and smash your enemies, then hey, consider smashing that subscribe button for daily Infinite Galaxy videos. Let's talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I wish I had known. The first thing we're going to address right up front is that higher tiers of rarity generally are better, but perhaps not for the reason you think. When people look at crew, there's one primary thing they look at, and that is the skill that crew member has. But I'm going to make the argument that the thing that is far, far more important than these individual skills, which we will go and talk about, by the way, is going to be the total stat points that you're going to get from each of your commanders. You will notice that the more rare the crew type, the more stat points you get from them. And those stat points are absolutely critical. Now, you may not have noticed, there's a menu right over here that when you tap into it, you can apply those stat points to different things to power up your spaceport fortifications. This ranges from being able to improve your research and building speed all the way over to generating more energy and even combat effectiveness. So the more rare crew members are generally better because even though they may be lower advancement levels, which means they'll have a lower level perhaps of the skill that they provide, they will give you so many stat points at the higher rarities that it is generally worth hunting for those higher rarities. Now, to give just a few examples of things that I strongly recommend for your spaceport fortification plan at the start of the game is to hunt in the following areas. First and foremost, I went all in on building up my spaceport. I dumped 10 total points into the construction and then also research speed. In the combat tree, I focused on the unit that I'm kind of going all in on right now. I don't think that's generally a good plan, but because I'm spending and I picked up the Artemis, that is a frigate-based ship, so I'm kind of going all in on frigates. I would recommend, however, that most players go the opposite direction. You will notice that when you are battling PvE, player versus environment objectives, that there are health bars for both your fleets and the enemy fleet. For your fleet, the blue is the first bar that's going to disappear. Those are your frigates. Frigates always get shot down first. After that, it's the destroyer health bar. After that, it's the cruiser health bar. You'll notice that cruisers last the longest. So if you go all in on cruisers, the cool part about that is that you probably will score higher in events that involve your whole alliance because you're going to have the unit that sticks around the longest, and thus you'll do more damage. At least I think you'll do much better. That seems to be the case so far. Now, in the tech tree, I would recommend one thing in particular, although your initial choice may not matter quite as much. These are specific damage types. I would encourage you to focus on getting high-speed parts logistics as fast as you can. This basically makes it so that you can recruit more warships at a single time, or basically build more warships at a single time, which means you probably will be able to make the jump from having your warships not training at some point in the middle of the night to being able to queue up some warships before bed and then wake up in the morning and your warships are still not quite done yet. That's basically like free speed ups. It's free time that's no longer lost. This is really a good one. And then in the logistics tree, there's really a lot of just extremely viable options. Troop load is amazing at the start of the game. You're not going to have enough warships to send out a full gathering crew. So yes, that is really nice. The extra energy, also really good. Energy is extremely good in this game. That is totally worth spending and getting extra regeneration. And parts unification reduces your repair cost. Extremely viable, although I would guess that's more important if you're battling against other players. So that is why I want you to focus on the higher rarity commanders because the number of points you will get, for instance, my level 10 legendary is giving me 64 total stat points, whereas my level 9 epic is giving me 36, whereas a level 6 blue is giving me 17. Yeah, I have a higher level of this spaceport construction than I do perhaps of the other crew members that I'm getting a look at, but anything that's lost in the advancement level of these abilities is made up for with those extra crew points that are really, really exceptional to apply right over here. So that is the most important thing I wanted to start you off on. But you may be wondering, okay, Chisgule, I get it. More rare is probably better due to the ability to apply all those stat points, even though it takes more experience, by the way, to level up those crew members. But which crew members should I pick if I have a choice? And that is a fair question, especially at the start of the game. My guidance to you would be to focus on generalists. By that I mean, I've gone all in on frigates. That doesn't make a ton of sense. If there were a generalist that improved all warships, but just a little bit, then that would be a better choice because the reality is you're going to have a variety of warships at your disposal. Even I've got a variety of warships, not all frigates, even though I'm kind of specializing in that. So I would pick generalists for your warships. In addition, I would avoid focusing on things that enhance your flagship. Things that enhance your flagship, and I made the mistake of going in on one of these crew members, are actually only particularly good if you go in and you're doing the campaign, which you will do. However, when you're doing other things, your flagship is going to be the last thing, for example, to start taking damage. So I realized using this crew member who's improving the toughness of my flagship is really not all that great if I want to score higher in events or be better at battling pirates. The thing I want is to be able to just do more damage or to have healthier warships or warship shields. All of that will be better. So I've abandoned pretty much all the flagship buffs unless there's something else really, really compelling about that crew member that I'm also using them for. Now, a whole other family of things that you could hunt for that I would recommend are ones that enhance your space station's ability to get stuff done. A perfect example of that is Robbie Sonny Nicholas, who is going to improve your speed of warship building. Phenomenal. I like research speed. That's great. I like spaceport construction. I think that's also great. I'm still even using a blue crew member that is giving me some of those advantages, and I can swap these out to swap in the one that will give me the relevant advantage. If it's spaceport construction or research, I swap that in when I need it. I mention that because I think those have really great benefits in helping you power up, but in addition, I really want to nudge you toward the crew members that actually help you with gathering. This dude over here, Trek Wagner, is actually kind of a beast, and I'm very much looking to swap him into my roster here. Rapid mining is amazing. Getting more resources is amazing. So much of the start of this game is going to require resources and speed ups. And yeah, being able to farm more of those is kind of a big deal. Now, there are other ways you can get more stat points to apply for all those special abilities I was showing you toward the start of this video. And those two extra mechanisms are called formations and additional bonuses. Now, this crew member has a formation. If I use Robbie Nicholas, which I am using, by the way, and I use Helen, then I get a 5-point logistics bonus, which is really quite exceptional. There's a lot of incentive for me to swap in this crew member. To give a few examples of other additional bonuses you could get, looking in on Robbie Sonny Nicholas, who we just talked about a moment ago, she also has the same crew formation bonus, so she'll give an additional 5 tech points if I use those 3 together. But she's got an additional buff right over here that if I have 4 or more engineers, then I get 5 more tech points. Well, a lot of engineers have this style of buff. So I'm using a bunch of engineers in my crew that give me additional benefit for having a bunch of engineers, which is really pretty freaking exceptional. There are a lot of different types that offer this. And to give an example, that type is shown right over here. We can see this crew member, Molly, is an engineer. However, my other legendary crew member, Laura, is a staff officer. Different crew members, they give these different bonuses. Another common bonus is to get to level 15. That's definitely a very exceptional breakpoint where you are going to start to get more free points, which converts into some serious value. Now, you may be wondering, okay, Chisgule, how do I get more data cards? How do I get more basically of the cards that you need to advance these crew members and level up, or I guess in this case, it's literally to advance these skills and then also to level them up or upgrade them in the first place. And you can see I've used up most of my crew member experience because it's just really good to have applied. There are a number of events that will give you the prestige that you need in order to recruit crew members in the bottom right over here. And I'm going to spend a little bit of corium, even though I normally wouldn't, just to show you, as I do this, that when I recruit some crew members, one of the benefits of doing so is that I'm going to get some crew member experience. So this is one way that you'll be accumulating crew member experience. I have to admit, though, that I do not think this is a good use of corium. I have found that I have spent really just an unbelievable number of pulls getting basically all greens and not a lot of value by going in and trying to pull here. So I don't think this is a good use of corium. I do think that over time, of course, you want to be working on this and working on your crew. So here you can see I got a little bit of experience out of that deal and some crew members I already have some copies of. If I go, however, just to show you a few places where you can get some experience, you can go and you can get some prestige. One really exceptional place to go and get a ton of prestige is in the discoveries portion, right over here. When you go and you uncover the location of a whole bunch of items throughout the galaxy, you get a ridiculous amount of that spaceport prestige to recruit crew. And if you wanted crew experience, one way you could go and do that is I back out to my galaxy, and every single day, I guess back to my star system is what I meant, you tap that radar icon in the upper right. I'll show that again, right over here. You tap the radar icon, and this will take you to a menu where you can select special coordinates. You're going to want to battle this tactical training base for some amount of resources, crew experience, and also ship experience, by the way. The other major way that I'm pulling down a lot of crew experience right now is that pretty much all of my prospecting that I do, and there is a limited number of times you can do this. You get 50 explore energy a day. But pretty much all of the prospecting I do, where I go and look at planets, I pick crew experience if that's an option that's available to me. Crew experience is really hard to come by. Now, as you go and prospect, you will get some extra bonuses. Right over here, you can see this gold chest. And man, I am really looking forward to getting to this next level to get more of this crew member who is going to improve my warship recruitment time. Oh yeah. That is actually the jam. I suppose one last way that you could go and get more crew experience is to get a look in at these specials. I find that when you look at the percent value of some of these specials, the crew members are the lowest value, at least how they list them. 790% for the base crew package here for $5, whereas it's 1,500% for this Achilles package. Value from these bundles is definitely something we'll need to get an evaluation of later down the road, but I did want to mention that this is yet another way you could accelerate that if you are spending. However, my recommendation, and this is what I did, is to time your spending with events that give you extra rewards for having done so. We've seen twice now in the game an event like this one where when you purchase packs that have corium, you get more rewards for having done that. Yeah, that's the time when you want to go and purchase. And I've finally reached a point where I'm like, actually, I'm basically not going to spend when one of these events isn't here. We've had 2 of these events in the 2 weeks that I've been playing. I'm going to cool it off. I'm going to cool it off until one of these events comes back around because, whew, it was pretty juicy. Now, if you're not spending, don't worry. There's plenty of ways that you can go and get all of those things that you need that we were just describing. And I have to say, by refining my crew, I really have profoundly changed the function of my spaceport. I made several mistakes at the start of the game going for crew members that were green. And I thought, oh, look at all the stats they have, right? Like, look at this. I got 14% flagship output. But when I looked at a report, I was like, oh, geez, my flagship barely does any of the killing, even though it's legendary, even though I've got really good gear on it. It's barely doing the line. It's not the lion's share. The lion's share is from the rest of my fleet. I realized this is not even doing me that much. And I'm only getting 9 stat points, right? This is totally not worth, because all it takes, if you look in at just a blue that I have, double the stat points over here, right? It's a big deal. I got 21 stat points on this crew member. They're level 8. It is a big deal because I get a whole bunch of extra stats and extra boosts. So the more rare commanders, I think, are totally the jam. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a huge favor, throw a like on here and consider subscribing for daily Infinite Galaxy videos. And be sure to let me know in the comments which crew members are your favorites and which ones do you think are honestly the most important to level up and power up. I've been really happy with the crew that I've got so far. I'm a little leery of the fact that some of these crew members are all in on a specific type of damage, and I don't really have a specialization yet. But the fact that they are all pretty much engineers that give me some boosts over here, guess I got to add one more. Oh, interjecting for a moment. I got confused a second ago because I was like, wait, where are my bonuses? Why does it not show that I have these bonuses? It doesn't show the bonuses if you're in your crew list. It will show you have the bonus if you're actually looking at your assigned crew. So anyways, I'm happy about these engineers because they're giving me these bonuses, and I'm going to be hunting for more of these because these seem like some really, really good value. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing your nebula.